Okay, so we got a problem here. This conservative YouTuber is discussing an incident that occurred with a non-binary person who, to put it simply, went into the women's bathroom and sexually assaulted one of his classmates. Their classmates, actually. Sorry. That's the simplified version of the events that took place. The long version, which is the authentic version of what took place, um, this is a non-binary person who is apparently gender fluid and likes to wear dresses sometimes, but also likes to wear masculine clothes other times. Um, this person, the girl he they molested in question was their significant other. They were dating at the time. And the nature in which they that led to a relationship. For what I've read in this situation, this person was already weird. It was coercive in nature. I heard that they only started dating because they kind of coerced that girl into dating him because like I think she got injured, and then while she was in a vulnerable position, they kind of like convinced her to get into a relationship with him, and that's how that went about. And during that relationship, they would occasionally meet in the girl's bathroom to have sex, like legitimate consensual sex. So yeah, that would be a thing that they would do, you know. And the issue here is that one instance in particular, the this gender fluid person wanted to have sex again, and I don't know all the details, but for some reason she didn't want to at the time. The girlfriend didn't want to at the time, but this sick person, I will call them a sick person, they're sick, um wouldn't take no for an answer and then just went ahead and molested her. I don't want to get, okay, to put it graphically, they let's not put it graphically actually. They sexually assaulted her in the bathroom, and it was traumatic for her. And this whole thing spiraled out of control. Conservatives decided to use this as a narrative of why trans women should not be allowed to go into public bathrooms because all of them are serial rapists who will have sex, not sorry, who will molest women endlessly at all times in that bathroom. Problem is, they this incident would have happened anyway. Like if this person wasn't allowed to go in the woman's bathroom, these two people would have had sex somewhere else, and then the same thing would have occurred again. Like this whole story would happen again, but instead of it being in the woman's bathroom, this would be under the fucking bleachers or some shit. This would be in like the janitors. I don't know. Fucking teenagers are weird like that. They'll find any kinds of fucking wacky places to meet and have sex in. And the funny thing is, not the funny thing, like the time this molestation happened, they they literally met in that bathroom. It wasn't just some random incident where like this gender fluid person just decided to randomly walk into the woman's bathroom and molest her. This is an instance of a minor being a creepy individual who met in the woman's bathroom. They both met there, and then they took advantage of the situation because, again, they're sick like that. That's the story. Has nothing to do with trans women whatsoever. This incident would have happened regardless. This is an instance of an obviously sick-minded human being that did something horrible. They just did something horrible. And no amount of anti-trans bathroom bills would have prevented this incident from occurring. But conservatives are so adamant that if we had just if we had just prevented trans women from going into the women's bathroom, this would never happen, which is a fucking lie, like straight out of the pits of hell.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Great Knocked here with you guys. I want to get into a story that actually got me pretty heated. It's pretty rare that that happens because, when you're doing this line of work, you kind of get thick skin. But what I'm going to read to you now is probably going to be upsetting to you. Make sure you guys like this video, help with the growth and engagement. Share it if you feel like somebody needs to see it, and subscribe if you feel like I've earned you as a follower. Now, Loudon School District, Loudoun County Superintendent spokesman, criminally indicted in rape cover-up. This story has been in the news multiple times over the last, like a year and a half, 2 years almost now. A trans student, okay, this is a biological male with, full penis and everything, that runs around wearing a skirt and identifies as a protected class and all that. Free to go inside, females' restrooms and do whatever they want. Completely protected by the school. These days, we have the schools that are protecting these types of people. Now, look, I don't want to say that this is all trans people. I don't want to say that all trans people are what this individual is. But I will say, it's dangerous enough that these people should not be using restrooms with biological women. Look, at some point, we have to put common sense above feelings.
All right. Let it be known that over the course of this video, his whole argument, everything that he's going to say within this video, it hinges on the idea that men are all inherent rapists. All men are rapists. You notice how the not all men narrative sort of just disappeared the moment trans people started gaining like a lot of like popularity in mainstream politics? Have you ever noticed how you started hearing that less? This is the reason why. Because in order for their argument that trans women are just going to rape women in the women's bathroom, they have to concede that all biological males are rapists. Just every single one of them, all inherent rapists. Something that back in 2016, conservatives and all these neo-Nazi types would shit on quote-unquote feminists for promoting. But now, when it comes to trans people, they will spew that talking point all day, every day. They do. They just use different words. Instead of males, it's trans women. Unless you're going to say that it's only just trans women that are inherent rapists and males aren't. And males that aren't trans are not rapists. Which would be a contradiction to what this guy just said, right? Because he just said that, no, I'm not trying to say that all trans people are like this. Their ideology is contradictory. It's just always contradictory. So just be aware of that.
Because if this happens just one time, it's too many. A girl, okay, a student, she's little to me because I'm old. A ninth grader was raped.
This person was also little. This was a minor,
the girl's bathroom
crime, really,
by this individual.
And I honestly believe that the main reason they didn't do enough was because this person was the perpetrator was also a minor. So like, I don't know, because they did actually serve time. I think they served time in juvenile in juvie, and then they were let out after about 2 weeks. I guess they did like some form of therapy session or whatever. They had to have, right? I hope they did. And then after about 2 weeks, they let them out. And unfortunately, they actually did this again. They sexually assaulted another girl. Like this time, they pulled a girl into an empty classroom and assaulted her. Again, this incident is blatantly has nothing to do with bathrooms. The see them hinging their whole like argument on it on it being around bathrooms is dishonest because preventing trans women from entering bathrooms would have never prevented this, especially the second incident.
And the school covered it up because they don't want to bring negative light or attention to, uh, I guess, trans people. But what about the
No,
girl? What about the victim?
I
Let's read what
highly doubt
happened.
that. I really don't
Two
think they
top
care that
officials
much.
of a
I
Northern
really think
Virginia
this is
public
an
school
instance of
district
a
were
minor.
indicted
Of it
Monday
being a
for
minor,
their
they had
roles in the handling of a
no
bathroom
idea what
rape
to
by
do
a
with that.
skirt-wearing boy after the Daily Wire revealed the apparent cover-up last year. Court documents unsealed Monday showed Loudoun County Superintendent Scott Ziegler was indicted on 3 misdemeanor counts of false publication, conflict of interest, prohibited conduct, and penalizing employee for court appearance. Spokesman Wade Byard was indicted on a felony charge of perjury, court records show. A week ago, a special grand jury released a 91-page report that confirmed the findings of the Daily Wire's October 2021 expose, saying that Ziegler told a bald-faced lie when he dismissed concerns about a proposed transgender policy by denying that there had ever been any bathroom sex assaults, despite knowing that just a month prior, a skirt-wearing boy had allegedly raped a ninth-grade girl. So good on them. Let me get on over to a more in-depth detail of what happened. So, Loudoun schools had a stunning lack of transparency around the bathroom rape and
Uh
intentional
huh.
amnesia. When testifying about it, a grand jury said today, adding that it might have indicted LCPS lawyer for witness tampering if such a law existed in Virginia. Days before the rape, a teacher aide wrote, a teacher's aide wrote to the department chair that he had come into the class, the student wearing the skirt, the trans individual, had come into the class more than once with his arm around a girl's neck. I have caught him sitting on other girls' laps several times. I wouldn't want to be held accountable if someone should get hurt. So he's playing this trans guy is playing this game where, oh look, I'm trans and I'm gay, so I'm just
No,
one of
he's
the
just
girls.
a
I'm a
weirdo. It
girlfriend,
has
you know.
nothing to do
So
with
you have a
like
large
politics at
male
all.
body
They're
opposing
just a weirdo.
individual sitting on girls, walking in with his arm around their neck. And what do the girls do? What do the students do? Young, impressionable teenage girls. They don't want to be called transphobic. They
What?
don't want to be called names. Plus, I mean, this guy identifies as a member of the LGBTQ.
This is conservative fucking dishonesty at full play right here. He's inferring something based on literally nothing. Nothing. You want to know why they don't know this person. They don't know this person was a fucking creep. So they didn't care. That's why they didn't quote say anything or didn't mind or whatever. He's just inferring like this whole thing based there's nothing. No one goes on record saying, "Well, I didn't speak out against this person wearing a dress because I don't want to be transphobic." What the fuck is there to speak out against? What oh, someone wears a dress. How dangerous. Like a biological male wearing a dress, it doesn't really mean anything. It is just a biological male wearing a dress. If you really want to get down to it, it's really literally a nothing issue. They really want to promote this idea that like if you're a biological, if you have a penis and you wear a dress, then you just must be a rapist. And speaking out against it makes you transphobic somehow, I guess. Even though there's nothing to speak out against because it's an article of clothing. There's no reason for anybody to want to speak out against trans women in bathrooms. I really don't get conservative sometimes. I really don't. This is just full dishonesty.
Community, so he's safe, right? He's one of us. He's not a predator. So apparently, if you're just let's say you're like straight guy, you do any of this, you're finished. But put on a skirt, stand in front of a pride flag.
So does he want? So he does he think that we should all assume that if a biological male wears a dress, that we should just always automatically assume that they're a rapist at all times, even though there's no data suggesting something like this at all whatsoever? Guessing every fanboy on Twitter is a rapist, right? Surely there would be stories about that, just like this one coming out, right? He'll make it up and say that the woke mob covered it up.
And all of a sudden you're good to go. Does it matter if you really are a female? Does it matter if you really are identify these things? No, doesn't matter. And as we're about to find out,
They got charged anyway.
this person was just cosplaying as a trans woman
Cosplay.
because he ended up raping a girl. But school officials seem to accuse the teacher's aide
This had nothing to do with
of
her identity, by the way. I
transphobia
think this is
against
just
the
somebody
skirt-wearing
that
boy. Her boss
identifies
questioned
as
her
gender
true
fluid,
motivation.
and
And an
who
assistant
also just so
principal
happens to
questioned
be
whether
a
the
rapist.
author of the email had followed proper protocol days later. He raped. During the rape itself, another teacher's aide walked into the bathroom and saw that two students were in a stall together, but did nothing according to the report. The girl was lying on the bathroom floor while the skirt-wearing boy stood over her. 2 weeks later, he raped the ninth grade girl. Massachusetts messages
Jesus
obtained
fucking
by the
Christ.
grand jury
This guy is
show
so
the rape.
fucking weird. I hate the way he reads it, right? He he uses this weird dramatized fucking tone in his voice. It's so fucking larpy and weird. And then he raped this third grade girl. It's so horrible. Then he put his hand. Yeah. That's what it sounds like.
Rapist using a school computer to send messages to his victim. May 13th saying, "You want to be effed?" To which she responded, "No." On May 22nd, they met in a bathroom around noon, where the rapist became handsy, and then more aggressive, which caused bruising on her chest. The female laid on her stomach on the floor, and the male held her arms down as he penetrated her. While this was occurring, a special education teacher assistant walked into the restroom. This caused the male student to jump up. The female student was in a lot of pain and got up slowly. And when she was seated in the seated position, the male student pushed her shoulders down and grabbed her face. The special education teacher assistant later said she saw two pairs of feet under the stall, but she did nothing about it. The report said after the teacher left, the boy continued to sodomize the girl until 12:24 p.m.
Sodomize?
And by 1:28
Jesus
p.m.,
fucking
it was
Christ.
reported to the principal. Yeah, this happened at a public school. This happened on your
Sodomize. I just want to get on that for a little bit. You know this is about propaganda and not about reporting the news when they use phrases like sodomize. The fuck? Okay. Alright. Fine, Yoshi.
your taxpayer dime. This was somebody's little girl. This was somebody's daughter. Imagine if it was yours.
What?
Imagine you have a daughter.
Fuck.
She's just going to school, goes into the bathroom, and a trans boy, woman, whatever, a boy in a skirt, goes in there and proceeds to sodomize her,
Why are you using this
to
language?
violently rape her. And then imagine the school tries to cover it up to protect the LGBTQ community. Now, again, this isn't
This has
an
nothing
attack
to do with the LGBT
on the
community,
LGBTQ
fucking
community. This is an
dumbass.
attack on, one, the rapist, and two, the school for covering it up. But moreover, the insanity that we're dealing with now, because this should have never happened. This little girl did not have to get sodomized in the girl's bathroom.
Why? Can you?
They
shut
could
the
have
fuck
just
up
made
about
this dude
word, fucking
use a
sodomize?
separate
This
bathroom.
nigga is so fucking fucking. I don't. Well, I can't even say it's dumb. I think this is deliberate. He's trying to weaponize literal rape just to shit on an entire minority group. That's literally what he's doing. it is the most fucking backwards, dishonest thing you can ever do. And honest to God, it is really disgusting. Weaponizing something that is obviously just horrific just to misdirect and point people at a marginalized group is disgusting because the LGBT community has nothing to do with that. If you really have a problem with this, um, there's more productive things to focus on. Uh, you wanna know what that is? The thing conservatives hate so much. Talking about how society teaches males how to behave in society. Because this happens a lot, right? Where like a lot of males are just basically taught to value assertiveness, dominance, and all kinds of things. And they're generally not really taught to really consider another person's feelings or even consider what the fuck consent means and what that even looks like. And on top of that, how society kind of like puts sex on the pedestal to where like you're not an alpha male unless you have a shit ton of like bitches in your on speed dial every 2 seconds. Unless you're James Bond having sex like all with 30 women daily, then you're not valuable essentially. Teaching them that and when men don't get the things that we teach them makes them valuable. Um of course they're going to act out and in the worst cases rape because they feel entitled to sex because these males are just like I'm not an alpha if I don't get this. I'm not I'm not strong and dominant unless I get this. So if I don't get it, then I'm not getting what's owed to me and that is bad. So this woman must give me what she owes me. And that can lead to rape. Sometimes, and a lot of the times, people who do rape, males who do rape, don't even realize they're doing it. This person, however, does kind of. I believe they do know that what they're doing is fucked up. But usually, how rape happens is males get really really pushy and they don't really know how to take no for an answer, so they use a lot of coercive methods and language to coerce a girl into performing quote consensual sex with them, even though the girl may not want to. And then often what happens is the girl feels really bad about it later, and then she comes out with her Me Too story. The conservatives hate talking about that though, unless it has something to do with trans people. You know, it's called nuance. Something conservatives don't like. They want simple answers.
A family bathroom. I don't know. I don't care about your goddamn feelings. Because if this was my daughter, I would be in prison. But this is what we get. This is the insanity that we have now. Look, at some point, common sense is either going to prevail or it's not. But I only ask you this. What if it was your little girl? Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments.
Here's the implicit language. You don't want your children to get raped, do you? You should do something about this. You should be as vehemently anti-trans as possible. And, if you can, kill as many trans people as possible. They're rapists, and they are bad. That's the language he's engaging in here. The implied meaning of what he's trying to get at here is that if you let trans women in women's bathrooms, they will rape your children. It's not that they might rape your children, they will. And here's a funny thing too, right? He's talking about this minor like they're a full ass 30-year-old adult. When this is a minor that like committed this crime. They do the same thing whenever it's a black kid that does something wrong or doesn't do something wrong. Or like a black kid like looks like they're acting out or just are acting out but they're really fucking young, too young to understand. And they end up taking like punishment as if they were adults. And conservatives would talk about them like they're adults. Like they're the most dangerous thing ever. This is a minor that needs to be taught better. And unfortunately, I think it's too late for this person because they raped a girl again, which is just a failing on society's part. We need to teach males better than this. But that's what we should be focusing on rather than talking about goddamn fucking bathroom bills that have no productivity whatsoever. Is really the most unproductive solution to this problem because it doesn't fix anything. Again, this would have happened anywhere else. It would have happened in the under the fucking bleachers, and this story would have happened all over again. But then we would be talking about, man, we should just ban trans people from going to the from going under the football field bleachers. No, actually, then they'll be just saying we should ban trans people from society. That's probably what they would say. But yeah, this is like one of like the few cases where like a rape happened, and this one doesn't even have anything to do with a bathrooms whatsoever, like at all, nothing, zero, nada, zilch. No bathroom bill would have prevented this. Period. But I think he's gonna end this video here actually, so I'm gonna end this video here. Um, this guy's a piece of shit. He's dumb. Well, he's dumb, but he's also knows what he's doing here. He wants to target trans people. His end goal is to paint trans people as inherent rapists, and something must be done to stop them. Because again, quote, "What if it was your little girl?" Yeah, this is just conservative dishonesty at play. Anyway, I'll stop it right here. Yeah, I'll catch y'all later, and I'm done. Peace.
Oh hey, I'm just hiding from the eyeball. It likes to periodically perform welfare checks on me. However, I find this to be an intrusion on my privacy, and I hide from it, in protest. It will leave in a few hours, but for now, I'll stay here and stand my ground. I have rights, and one of those rights includes the right to privacy from an omnipresent dictatorial eyeball, despite its good intentions. I could lower my curtains, but this would only alert the eyeball to my presence. And, in return, it would perform more welfare checks on me, which I object to. So, for the time being, I'll just wait here and hide, in the hopes that one day the eyeball will believe that I've ceased to exist entirely.